Morning, Michael Mazarang here again. And today we're at a house in a gated community. And this particular customer was referred to us through an HVAC contractor. And what we found is this customer was already working with a mold remediation company, and we got involved with the crawl space side of the project. What we've done on this house is we've tried to improve the foundation drainage situation, as well as getting the crawl space under control with a controlled ventilation system. A controlled ventilation system is a technology that is not really heard of a lot in the market, but it's sort of a hybrid system between a closed system, completely closed system, and an open vented system, which we'll talk about here shortly. But today, the guys are in production, and we wanted to do some production video to show a few things. In the state of North Carolina and South Carolina, you're not required to carry licensing for mold remediation, which is really unfortunate because a lot of companies go out there and do some very silly things in regards to mold remediation. We took over this account, as you can see here on this drop girder system. The company that was here before just basically fogged. They set off a mist or a fog to try to destroy the mold or disinfect the floor system, which is really stupid. You cannot destroy mold by setting off a vapor or a fog type of a treatment. And also, as you can see here, this is the original house insulation, and you cannot clean a substructure on a house without removing the insulation. And to follow a proper licensed hygienist protocol to clean mold from a floor system, it has to be treated and physically removed from the substrate. So as you can see here, this company called it good. And you'll see here, certainly large concentrations of visible mold on this engineered floor system. And unfortunately, we had to come take over and really do a better job here. So as you'll see, the guys are here today removing the subfloor insulation, and I want to go to a spot where we really, as you can see here, here's notable manifestation, soiling from the mold, and unfortunately, nothing was touched. And so I'm going to go back here to where this area, especially, you can see why insulation needs to be moved in order to properly pre-treat the material and go through the full removal process per a licensed engineer or a licensed hygienist protocol. This material would have been completely skipped if the insulation hadn't been removed. So you can see here active concentrations of physical biofilm material infesting the lower parts of the engineered floor system, as well as above where the insulation had been deployed. And so you can see here, this is a prime example of when a company is not properly trained to do mold remediation protocols, how things can get missed, and proper project oversight gets overlooked. Now, when we clean this floor system using our mold remediation process, industrial cleaning process, we will bring a licensed hygienist in behind us to verify that this material has been cleaned before we re-insulate the subfloor. Because nobody's perfect, and you can make a mistake, and that's why we want a third set of eyes to let us know, hey, you missed a spot, guys. And it's important to have that kind of, when you're cleaning crawl space mold, to have that third party oversight from somebody that's a fresh set of eyes that can verify that you've done your job completely, and then get a letter to go that can be shared with the homeowner on that regard. Now, something else of, so that's the mold side things. This house did have some foundation drainage issues, and you can see here we had to do a little bit of work on the drain system that I'm looking at here. And there is a full perimeter, and some of this was installed when we got here. We just brought in some extra rocks and kind of improved the situation. But this is what we call an interior foundation drainage system, and this goes around the entire crawl space environment. You can see here more rocks were added to improve the effectiveness of the drainage field. And turning the corner here, we can see where we deployed the sump pump. This pump was actually here, and we had to reset it as it was sticking out almost 2 feet out of the ground, which made it dysfunctional. And we rerouted this water line, exit line, from the unit as it was plugged through a foundation vent, which I didn't like at all. So this exit line for the sump has been reinstalled. Goes out through the foundation wall, underground, out to a bubble pot assembly, and that will take care of our foundation drainage system. In addition to that, we've already deployed our crawl space controlled ventilation program, which is an ATMOX system. We do have a dehumidifier on this situation, as this crawl space is 3,800 square feet. So it's a pretty big crawl space. And you can see here, we did deploy the system to bring down the moisture levels, and you can see there's no vapor barrier. So even with no vapor barrier, we were able to drop the crawl space wood moisture levels from 20% down to 14%, and most of it was done with the outside air. It is September, late September here in the Carolinas, and we've had really good air for air exchange. So we didn't have to run the dehumidifier hardly at all to get the crawl space wood moisture down to 14%. And so you can only imagine what will happen when we have the vapor barrier installed, which we'll show a little bit later in the video. As we were talking about earlier, just wanted to show some production pictures and some production video here that you'll see on your screen, and the next time we'll show the finished product, which will be later on in the video here on my next visit, to see what this crawl space looks like after the material has been cleaned from the floor system using proper protocols and a continued dry out period with the ATMOX program, as we continue to get this crawl space dry. And we're already well on our way.